Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashem Shai Brakadam to the hopefully elect. And this is just real quick. Lord's will, to the point, edifying. I saw this video. Title says, "We are closer to civil war than any of us would like to believe." And like I said, I saw this video, and pretty much bringing out some interesting things, because whether the people do want to believe it or not, whether they want to accept it or not, America, all hell is going to break loose here in Babylon the Great. And like I said, I was watching this the chick, she like studies things on why or what leads societies to the point where it's a civil war, which of course Babylon the Great is exhibiting those signs, right? Which like I said, here again, it says we are closer to civil war than any of us would like to believe. And you see, the thing is, hey, we want these things to happen. We want all hell to break loose. All right, because that's going to further usher in our deliverance, the hopefully elect. All right, and it's just beautiful. The times that we're in, because knowing the times that we're in, hey, these are the signs that the Lord said. He said these things would take. He said these things would be taking place before he makes his second return. So, like I say, we want these things to happen. We want all hell to break loose. Because hey, America, it's about to be a Kakistan 2.0 out here, right? But yeah, I'm gonna play some of this video. I don't know how long, I don't know how much of it I'm gonna play, but it's all through the Spirit. So, without further ado, I'm gonna play this video.
As we mark 1 year since the January 6th insurrection, we've been reflecting on what that day says about our country. Barbara F. Walter, a political science professor at the University of California, San Diego, and author of the new book, How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them, has this chilling warning saying we are closer to civil war than any of us would like to believe. She spent her career studying civil conflicts in countries like Iraq, Philippines, India, and Syria, and writes about parallels that she sees right here at home. Barbara F. Walter joins us tonight. Thanks so much for doing so, Barbara.
My pleasure.
So you served on a CIA advisory panel called the Political Instability Task Force, which monitors countries around the world to predict which are most at risk of descending into violence. Why did you decide to use those tools and expertise to look at the United States?
Well, first of all, the CIA is legally not allowed to look at the United States, so we never, ever discussed my country while I was on that task force. And in fact, while I served, there was no reason to look at the United States. It's only over the last 5 years that it's become increasingly apparent that the two factors that we know tend to emerge in the lead up to civil wars, no matter where they break out. It's only in the last 5 years that those two factors have been emerging here. So it's my own decision, knowing what I know, to apply it to the United States so that we can have warning of what we're beginning to see here.
When you saw January 6th unfolding, what were you thinking?
My immediate thought was actually shock, not that it was happening, but the impunity and almost the righteousness by which these individuals were going about a deeply illegal and possibly treasonous act. They were behaving as if they were doing nothing wrong. And in fact, now we know that they thought they were patriots. They thought they were taking back their country. They thought they were, quote unquote, defending the Constitution. And it was this righteousness, this sense that the country was theirs, as mostly white men, and that it was their duty to take it back. My secondary thought was actually relief. Those of us who study political instability and political violence we've known what's been happening behind the scenes. And the relief I felt after January 6th was that it was finally public. Americans could no longer ignore or deny that this cancer was growing in our country.
And you write that many on the far right are experiencing this loss of hope, leading some toward anger and violence. Can you explain that and what, if anything, can be done about it?
Yeah. So the United States is going through this dramatic transformation from a white majority country to what will be probably around 2045 a non-white majority country, and we will be the first white, country to go through this. And there's a subset of the white population here in the United States that is deeply, deeply, deeply threatened by this and feels that this is not what America should be. And we know, those of us who study civil wars elsewhere, we know who tends to start civil wars. It's not the poorest groups in society. It's not the immigrants. The people who tend to start civil wars are the groups that had once been dominant politically, but have either lost power or are in the process of losing power. They're the ones.
So that's pretty much what kind of caught my attention on what she was saying about how, because basically she's going into how Esau, all right, they see that they see the fact that they're losing their kingdom. They see their kingdom is going down, and she was just touching on how, well, like she made the point, it's typically not the minority that rises up and causes all the trouble or whatnot. All right, because when you look at it, man, even though Jake is catching all this hell and catching all this oppression, which to show you how dumb Jake is, and even these Americans in general, how docile they are. All right, because here it is, and it actually it's been coming out, touching back on the situation in Kazakhstan. It's actually coming out that they're not, well, going into the whole price and fuel going up. That's not the only factor that's playing into why they're in an uproar over there. It's coming out that really everything that we see going on here in America, and as well as other places, those over there in Kazakhstan, they're pretty much going through it as well, going through the same thing as well. And the people that are there, they've had enough of it. And again, you see this going on all over the place. Like I said, man, beautiful times that we're in, because hey, these are the signs that Yahweh Shema Shah told us, right? When you start to see these things, these signs and these wonders, just know that, hey, I'm getting ready to make my second return. So it's not just Kazakhstan, all these places, Austria, with the Netherlands, all these places, everything that is going on in Babylon the Great is going on in other places. All right. In some places, they don't even have it as, so-called bad as Babylon, but just the fact that, people can see that their, freedoms and rights and things of that nature is being threatened and whatnot. All right. This is why people are standing up worldwide, man. You see, and it's like, again, because I was saying how dumbed down and docile these Americans are, right? It's like, how much more oppression do these people need to suffer in order for them to get and understand the picture, because here it is, you have all type of illegal, like just an example, the IRS, that's and the fact that they can tax you to death, and because like when you look at your gross pay, man, when you look at your paycheck and you look at your gross pay, all right, if you're making $2,000 a week, all right, with so much taxes and unrighteous decrees and whatnot, you'll be lucky if you because they typically take out like 20-30% or something like that, which when you look at your gross pay, man, you whatever that is, that's what you should be making. But here it is, they have it set up to where, like I said, they could tax you to death, right? The IRS and child support, which all these things, if these Americans knew anything, and if they weren't so dumbed down and docile, especially Jake, because Jake think that this is just how it's supposed to be when it's not. All right. You see, if they had these programs like the IRS and child support, if they had these other programs in other places, hey man, this war would have been in the uproar a long time ago, but the fact that, again, just showing how these Americans are so dumbed down, they're so docile, they don't know nothing. All right, because if they did, then like I said, this place would have been in the uproar a long time ago. But that's why I was saying, like, how much longer, how much more oppression, you know, because it's like it has to get to the point where you know, I'm just trying to think of an example. What do they have to do? Like, take away your whole paycheck, you know, for these people to realize that, you know, something's not right. You know, something's wrong, man. You know, it's like, how much more oppression do these people need to suffer for them to get to that point where you see uproars of the people, like in other places, you know. But it's coming, you know. It's going to come, you know. But nevertheless, like I said, she was making the points about how it's not typically the minority, all right, or the poor, right, whatever the case may be. It's not typically them that you know, they get all roused up. It's the ones that are typically in that position to where, you know, because matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get into some precepts. I had one here in Psalm 73. Matter of fact, the point is in verse 6, but I'm gonna read verse matter of fact, I'm gonna read verse 5. Psalm 73 and verse 5, it says, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." All right, because, you know, and it makes sense because, hey, this is their kingdom, you know, this is their heaven. All right, and again, you know, being that we're in the transitionary period, because what does it tell you? What is that? Second Esdras 6 and 9. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see, we're in that transitionary period where, hey, Esau's going down, he's losing his kingdom, and the nation of Israel, start with the elect, is being risen up. And again, Esau, he sees that. All right, he knows it, he sees it. All right, and he's like, hell no, I'm not having so-called niggas, Hispanics, and you know, these wetbacks, these, you know, the proverbs and bywords. I'm not having these niggas over us. You know, they're not going for it. All right, and you know, she brought out some interesting points because, hey, they're going to turn to what they know best, which is their blessing. They're going to turn to the violence, because that's what Esau, that's what he does best. All right, he will always reverse back to his blessing. All right, so going to the point in verse 6, it says, "Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment." Because again, you know, that's all Esau knows, you know, his blessing via the sword. All right, taking things by violence, by way of force. That's all he knows. All right, and you see, man, because, hey, these Edomites, man, they're girding up, they're preparing, man. You know, like I said, they see their kingdom going down, and they're not with it, man. They're especially a so-called black man. Hell no, you know, because, hey, man, you know, people have been making jokes about it, TikTok videos and memes, all type of, you know, things have been coming out about how, hey, man, pretty much Esau, his white privilege is being revoked. You see, so they see that, man. They know it. They see it, and they're not going down without a fight, man. They're gonna come out swinging. So, you know, yeah, man. There was another one I had. Well, matter of fact, because I was watching another video, going into this guy. I've done videos on him before, by the name of the Angry Prepper, and he was going into this feeling that's in the air, you know. This very uneasy feeling that's in the air, you know, because, you know, as I often say, man, tension is at an all-time high. You could just you could feel it in the air, man. You know, something, hey, it's getting ready to pop off out here, you know. And here, like I said, I saw that video, and you know, because I was like, hey, man, he's right, because I'm gonna get this. And Isaiah, it's lucky I'm trying to drive as well. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14, it says, "Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit." So Yahweh Bashim Shai is stirring up this perverse spirit. All right, going back to what I was talking about with the you know, the this guy, the Angry Pepper. He did a video going into how there's a How does it go? See if I can pull it up real quick. Because I was actually going to do a video on it, but the fact that I'm doing this video here, because I was going to pretty much bring out the same precepts that I'm bringing out in this video. Damn, what's that video called? But basically, man, he just did a video going into how, man, it's a negative feeling in the air. And like I said, he's right. Because, hey, like I just read, the Lord is mingling this perverse spirit. All right? And it's going to lead to this here in verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. All right. So when it comes to a civil war, you can bet your top dollar that, hey, a civil war is going to take place here in America. The Great Revolution, all right, a great revolt is getting ready to take place here in the Babylon the Great. But like I said, being that these Americans are so dumbed down and they're so docile, it's like, how much more oppression do you need before you get to that point to where, hey, these people are tearing these streets up, you know? Matter of fact, when you read verse 4, it says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. So going to this cruel Lord going into Esau, Edom, because like I said, like I said before, with all the being taxed to death and, all these illegal programs such as child support and all these other things, right? Here it is, the cost of living is going up, but the way to maintain that living is not, our paychecks, our wages are the same, man, So it's like, how much more oppression? But again, nevertheless, hey, it will get to the point where, hey, people are going to be killing each other out here, hey, man, civil war is going to take place here in Babylon the Great, man. So just wanted to, real quick, like I said, hopefully this was edifying and was quick and to the point. Giving all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Yahweh Shema Shai, Barak Thumb, to you sincere believers, to the hopeful elect. Lord's willing, till next time, Shalom.